All right, Alec, welcome back to Black Mirror. We're here. Last week we watched USS Callister, the
Yeah.
first episode of season 4. How you feeling? Kicking
hmm
off the season.
What a strong start. One of my favorite episodes right there. It was really great.
Speaking to your
Loved
heart
it.
right there.
Loved it. It really did. Really did. It was good. It was it was dark. I like the fact that, it was the way it was. The character we followed, our protagonist, was not a good guy. How
Yeah,
about that? That's interesting. Yeah.
that's
So,
true. And
but
he
here we
has
are.
comeuppance, and
He did.
yeah. So we're here to watch episode 2, Arkangel. All right, not much to preface, but as always, you can click the link in the description and see the highlights of our reaction. Come back afterwards for the discussion. All right.
It'd be good to see.
All right. Well, there you have it. It's Arkangel.
Well, that was an episode, I guess.
Hmm.
Well,
How you feel about it?
um,
I'm a
uh,
mother.
it was all right. This is it's okay. I mean, like it just sort of felt like it was beating you over the head with the same thing over and over and over again. Like she's a terrible mother. She's a terrible mother. She's a terrible, terrible
We
mother.
got that from the
It's like I
jump.
get it. She's a helicopter parent. She's terrified about everything constantly. I thought there was going to be some weird twist with the daughter at the very
I know
beginning,
you were reading
but
into that. I think that was literally just to show that she's like paranoid and
she's paranoid about everything. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was all right, I guess. But it was just like you couldn't get on her side like throughout any of it. Like it was impossible to really feel like she was justified in doing any of it because like from the get go, as soon as they start introducing the technology, you're like, oh, this is bad. like,
Yeah.
oh, this is really not good.
There's not too
Because like you
much
see her
nuance to it. It's just like, okay, we already know this is like the bad technology coming into play, and then
yeah,
you can tell immediately how that could mess like not be good for a child's development, and then when she grows up, it's like, okay, it's clearly gonna be an unhealthy thing here.
because she didn't get exposed to the right stuff when she was younger to teach her some of these things that like she isn't able to process as well. So she's, I mean, sure, maybe some kids are, maybe she would just still naturally be drawn to Trick as a person, even if she didn't have a content filter on. But you can't imagine that the content filter being on her at all was good in any way or helped in that regard
Yeah.
to her development.
No,
So
and then when you get to that point, like she had made the decision to stop using the thing, but of course she
mhm,
did not. Like people like that, they're not gonna fully commit to anything. She left it in a box up there, so it was always an option to come back up and be obsessed about it again. And of course,
yeah,
as she's a teenager doing her thing, like of course there's gonna be a time where she's lying about where she is or doing something you might not like, but it's like part of the process that she just did not understand that. Now, in terms of Trick, apparently being too old for her, that's another thing. But
yeah,
you could have handled that way better in every regard.
yeah. Pretty much, literally in any regard, you could have handled that better. To maybe
It's
explain to your daughter that like it's at some point like you would have to sort of let it go on to a degree where you then, I mean, because like here's the thing, the way that she's bringing her up is like making it seem like there's no consequences to any of her actions because, oh well, I can just stop and save her in whatever way possible, including to the climactic moment where she decides to use an emergency contraceptive because, oh, I
uh,
can tell that she's pregnant through the sensor thing, so I'm gonna force that on her and not tell her about any of it. Like it's so beyond, yeah, it's just so like ill and sick. Like especially because it's like I just did it for you, and it's like no, you were doing all of this for you.
Yeah,
All of it was for you. It was all for you.
he
That's all it was ever
justifies it in her
about.
mind as being like protective of her, but
Yeah.
it's really been doing a lot of damage all along the way. And obviously, it came to a head when she's beating her mother over the head with the tablet.
Yeah. With it being the content filter being on during some of that. Uh,
Yeah, so it's like you just see this. It's just the mother like doing worse, crossing the line more and more. It's just as it goes on.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean, like, it would have been better if they maybe found more ways to show like it being a positive or being like a uh, maybe a useful tool.
yeah,
But
it's a trial run, but clearly it's like, what can you even like anyone with any amount of intelligence should be able to see like what are the do the ends justify the means at all? Like, it doesn't seem like there's even
yeah,
striving towards anything like
right,
positive in the long term. And then they said
right.
this was banned in Europe and
It's
supposed to be
gonna be
banned
phased
here
out in the
soon.
states. Yeah.
It's
So it's like yeah. So it was like clearly a lot of privacy concerns or whatever.
privacy alone,
So
not to mention
yeah,
the damaging effects of the filter itself. Like, you're filtering your own blood, you're filtering seeing
yeah,
your grandfather having a heart attack, so you don't even know what's going on, like in emergency
yeah.
situations.
Right.
Like, and like you were saying, like not knowing like how to process fear correctly. Like,
Yeah.
she
Fear
didn't
is such.
understand emotions correctly. Like, they were showing when she was trying to see if she was on the spectrum is what her theory was, I
Yeah.
guess. But
Yeah, it was like, Mom, really? This is where we're going here? You don't think about like for a second that like maybe having a filter constantly on to keep her away from scary things is like you as a parent should like you're never it's sort of the terrifying thing about being a parent is that I mean, obviously neither of us can speak from experience on this. I can only go off of what my friends and my brother and just other people I know who are parents have to say about it. And that's you can never really like you're never going to be able to protect your children from everything, and that's okay. It's terrifying to think about that, but like
right,
they are their own autonomous people, right? It's like I understand it I think it's good and healthy and right to teach your children and to maybe like using like the example of like censorship in your own home, so like protecting your children from seeing things that they shouldn't, like pornography or extreme amounts of violence.
mm-hmm.
Kids don't need to necessarily see that. It might make them uncomfortable, especially the first one, which you should absolutely not be showing children. Trick.
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 Classic Trick, though. It's classic Trick.
It's classic Trick. It really is classic Trick. It really is.
Everywhere he goes, he was the porn guy.
He's
He's got porn. You want porn?
everywhere I go,
to
I see him everywhere.
He'll show you something.
Is it? um,
He sells cocaine. He's got.
he's selling coke. Man. Look at this man. Look at this guy.
Videos, that guy.
Yeah, he loves beheadings. He's just like it's just gets off on him. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a degree of responsibility that you have as a parent over what your children sees and views, but like you have to understand at the end of the day that there's only so much you can, when your kid's going off to spend time with their friends, there's only a certain degree of that you can kind of protect, and that the way you raise them isn't by just keeping things away from them and not telling them why, or keeping things away from them and like hiding it from them, but it's like explaining, like teaching them to be able to make those decisions again for themselves. Like I remember myself being brought up, I was maybe a little overly sensitive to certain things, maybe growing up, but that was something that as I matured, as I grew up, became a teenager, I started to make decisions, as you naturally do. You start to make decisions that are informed by what your parents have told you, but then you're kind of coming into your own to make your own decisions and as an autonomous person to sort of be like, hey, I deciding I want to watch this or I want to play this or my friends are doing this, I'm going to go do this with them or any number of things. And the responsibility of the parent is not to be this. This is awful.
This is like,
This is vile.
textbook
And it's
bad
like,
parenting, like on to
yeah,
an extreme, right?
yeah.
It's like every amount of control you can have, and she's literally obsessing over it. We've yet to see her do one thing outside of one session of physical therapy, one session of sex with this guy from physical
With
therapy,
this guy.
and making smoothies.
It's making smooth. That's all mom does. And then she just looks at her little tablet all the time. That's all mom does. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's just sort of a half baked. I think my problem is it's just kind of half baked in terms of just its general. Like I get it. Like again, we get that it's like she's a bad parent, but like there's not enough positives in terms of the technology. They really hammer home how bad it is, how bad an idea it is. Like from the get go, you're given an unsettled piano music from the beginning.
Like that. I did like the music.
Oh, I did.
It was nice.
Oh yeah, sure. Music was really good, but like to me, it was like we're okay. It's like in for a bad time here.
I guess at some point it's like they're just so self-aware that like this is Black Mirror. There's gonna be this kind of technology thing, so let's just go right into it. Let's just like lean right into it from the get go.
I thought there was gonna see something about like clones or something in there, or like something like that, or but so no, nothing like that. It was
the only positive I could surmise from this technology is if you took out all of the bad stuff and just have like it'll tell you when your blood pressure's high and tell you when you're pregnant. That stuff would be nice. Have an implant that'll just like you can look at a tablet and see how like you're doing health wise. So that would be nice.
Yeah, I think so to me, like if you had an implementation of this technology, I think the GPS feature is actually like I think that's kind of a good thing to a certain age. I think once they start like. I mean, you
should
start
not even let the parent. You should not even let the parent have the option to go past a certain age. You have to have some control over that.
Yeah. Like you. At the end of the day, you're the point of a parent is to raise the children to make proper decisions, so that they don't make mistakes like she did, which she didn't seem to really have much involvement in her daughter's life, other than spying on her. It's very strange, very weird.
And the fact that even when they took the filters off, like she couldn't even walk. She didn't even take the time to walk with her for that one day to school.
Yeah, she's just like, oh no,
throw you in the deep end here.
Yeah, she did. She's just, I'm just gonna stay at home and drink my smoothie.
That's what she does best.
Yeah.
And the poor grandpa would like to paint a horse. That's
God, I thought I didn't think that was I didn't think he was a very good actor. I didn't think none of that was very good either. He was like, I'm an old man. That's my entire character. I'm an old grumpy man now because I had a stroke.
Yeah, he only existed for that plot device of showing like how you would see something troubling like going on in your home, and it would filter that out.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all he existed for.
He's just, and that was all it was for, really.
So it's like, pretty much, as a Black Mirror episode, it lacks in some ways. Like they're pretty much entirely set in that house. Like you just see that house, and then you see like the school, and then like around like the van, and like in that behind where he works. Like there's not much to. You don't really go around much. It's pretty limited. In terms of settings.
Yes. Yeah. I would agree.
In the end, she just goes, catches a ride with this trucker. So who knows?
So So who knows where? That was it. That was the end. She's out. She's out of here. I did think it was kind of neat that the implementation of certain things from the other technologies and stuff seemed to be tied into it. From other Black Mirror episodes, like the sort of the rewind feature from Entire History of You, that this seems to have like also a face filter searching thing, which is a
Face
Just kind of a
Seeker,
creepy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a Face Seeker website also. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the
Yeah.
technology, they also you could look for faces.
But then they also filtered out parts of the Men Against Fire episodes,
Yeah.
which was really funny. Um,
Yeah.
I want to say something right now, but that will ruin where I'm gonna rate it though.
You gonna say it's worse than Men Against Fire?
I think I might. I think I would rather watch Men Against Fire again than I would before I would watch this one.
Put a filter on the whole thing. Thrown in the garbage with the emergency contraception. All right, so in terms of the rankings, do you want to know where you're at right now, or?
No, I'm pretty set. I already have because I've written this down. I should have the Survivor one written down at some point eventually, but I do have my list here. So,
we'll have to tell the viewers though. It's once you put it in there. Where are you thinking? So you're thinking it's really that low? You're thinking all the way to the bottom?
It's around there, yeah, man. I like the national anthem more than this episode. I think it did a decent job about being like maybe a fiery criticism of helicopter parenting, right? I guess it's a good job at doing that, I suppose. But like, kind of beats you over the head with it repeatedly, and it just wasn't as engaging or interesting. And I didn't think that they did a good job of. They didn't make the mom like you did. There was never a point at which you felt like you could be on her side in any of this, because like you're like horribly abusing. It's like this is like practically child abuse in terms of what you're doing to your kids. So it's no wonder that they banned the technology. Boy, I really didn't like Men Against Fire though, so I think I'm actually. It's like right. It's like tied with it in my brain. I can't really like. I think I'm gonna put it below it though. I think I'm gonna put it just above Waldo Moment.
All the way at the bottom.
I mean, I would even say Waldo Moment might even be better than this episode. I really didn't like it. I really gonna be honest. I was not the biggest fan. What was this called again? Arkangel, right?
Arkangel.
Yeah.
What does that mean, by the way? Does that mean something?
So an Arkangel, spelled the Archangel, an Archangel is like one of the sort of like angels are created beings. So the idea of the Archangel is one that's sort of like a warrior or like a defender of those that would sort of like archangels, almost how you could think of it, like something that's like a higher tier of angel where they're sort of like more powerful, more warrior, more protective of humanity from evil, I guess, to a certain degree. I think that might be where they're going with the idea of like why this episode is called that.
Right.
Would be my guess. Actually, I'm gonna look that up just to see.
So you had USS Callister number 5, right?
I do. I love that episode. It was really great. The episode is sorry. I'm looking at the Wikipedia. The episode is intended to be sympathetic to helicopter parenting. You didn't do a very good job. It was not. I did not take it as sympathetic at all.
No.
At all. Not even remotely. Sympathetic. Like she's just awful. The whole movie, the whole show, the whole episode, the whole movie.
I've always felt that way about her. Even the last time I watched it a while ago.
Oh yeah.
It's like immediately was my thought. Like she's horrible. She's just a horrible mom the whole time.
Yeah.
All right,
terrible.
So for me, I'm around the same spot. Either above or below Men Against Fire. It's tough. All right, I think I'll put it below Men Against Fire right there with you.
All right.
So now your rankings overall. You got Playtest, White Christmas, Entire History of You, Nosedive, USS Callister, San Junipero, 15 Million Merits, Be Right Back, Hated in the Nation, Shut Up and Dance, White Bear, National Anthem, Men Against Fire, Archangel, Waldo Moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me is Playtest, White Christmas, Entire History of You, San Junipero, 15 Million Merits, USS Callister, Nosedive, Shut Up and Dance, Be Right Back, Hated in the Nation, White Bear, National Anthem, Men Against Fire, Arkangel, Waldo Moment. Alright,
So, archangels are the second lowest rank of angel in the hierarchy of angels. Word archangel itself is usually associated with the Abrahamic religions. Beings are very similar to archangels are found in a number of other religious traditions. A common misconception is that they are the highest rank. Yeah, I knew that wasn't the case. Because you have seraphim as one of the more, as kind of up there.
I thought you said highest rank at one point.
If I did, I was incorrect.
Okay.
No, I knew like seraphim were much higher. They're like the whatever.
Well, I get the idea. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, angels, watchers of humanity, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, they certainly watch.
Or a spy spying on you, Mom.
So far we've gotten one episode pretty high and one episode pretty low. For this
pretty
season.
low, like one of the yeah. We're already off to a rousing start, but we'll have to see onwards.
Like that's the thing with Black Mirror. Even the worst episode we enjoy. Like we're having a good time, watching them.
It was still interesting. I still had a good time watching it with my friend Zach. That's really the whole point.
Even if it is like too on the nose or half baked, at least it gets you talking. It'll get you talking about it.
Yeah.
Just we gotta put our foot down and say we don't support this parenting once and for all.
No, not at all. If you're a parent that's any form like this, Charlie Brooker, I don't understand where you're coming at with that. I want to make this sympathetic. I want to make it sympathetic to helicopter parents. And it's like, what are you talking about? This isn't sympathetic at all.
If you see yourself in this woman, then reconsider what you're doing.
Please don't. And yeah, okay, granted, I will grant you this. I'm not a parent, so maybe that's part of it too. But
right. Well, in the beginning, you can definitely sympathize with her, like being paranoid about the baby, and then being paranoid when she was missing, and then wanting to take action against that happening again. But
so after the 10-minute mark, it's like you lost me. Nah,
it's like everything. Like you can say that having these flaws in your personality and how you operate, and then giving yourself having access to this kind of technology is always dangerous. Like I remember saying this in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where it's like if you're prone to make these like snap decisions without thinking too much about them, and then you're given this technology where you can wipe your memory, then that's obviously going to lead to some bad things. And like escalate what your problems are.
For sure.
So yeah, she herself needed help. The mother needed help. Like she was obsessive.
She needed therapy. Like, whoa! I'm actually shocked that guy didn't recommend that she go to that. The guy was like, she's not on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't use this technology anymore, you weirdo. I was like, he was sort of like, yeah.
It's like, yeah, you single-handedly really damaged that child, and then as she grew up, you invaded her privacy, and just imagine being a 15-year-old girl, like discovering that your mom has just seen all of this. Mm-hmm. Imagine how that will affect you. And then it's like, yeah, did she deserve to get smacked over the head with the tablet? I don't know. The jury's out.
Probably not, but it's all your parenting decisions kind of led to that unfortunate conclusion.
The poetic is right on the nose that you're getting smacked down by the same exact tablet.
The thing that you're so obsessed with. Yeah, there is kind of a poetry to that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it to yourself.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Good thing. I'm glad she didn't die at least, because you could just see like that would have just been a weird ending to it. You could actually see her like
weird if she actually died.
Come out and like freaking looking distraught and
she's like the same exact person that she was like 16 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, right back to where you were
12 years ago.
Lost your daughter, and it's all your fault.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching. Come back next week for another episode of Black Mirror. All right. Can't be mad at it. Can't be mad at it. This
Nah.
one thing about anthology, it's not like, oh, we have a bad episode, so it's a bad sign for how this season's going. You know, it's like we had a really good episode, we had a bad episode. It could be anything at any time.
I mean, what there's been a episode that has been kind of a stinker in each.
But like
season
I've
to a
always
degree, right?
I've always said, I think the quality is generally like high enough. Like if you go pretty far down on our rankings, and I still like all of the episodes. Like aside for like the bottom 4, bottom 3, maybe you know. I still have stuff.
Yeah, even like the national anthem, as uncomfortable as it is to watch, was still like, you know, it's engaging television.
And
still.
like White Bear was really interesting, and that's really low comparatively. And then Shut Up and Dance is pretty low considering how much I actually really liked that episode. But
yeah, I kind of agree with you there. But
it's just a testament to the
quality
quality of the higher ones, you know.
Yeah. Those ones are just so endlessly interesting to think about. So yeah.
Yep. But you know, we got more in store this season.
Yes, we do.
Right.
Yes, we do.
If what should our viewers go watch after this?
You should go check out our reaction to Be Right Back.
Be Right Back. That's a good one too.
Be Right Back.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, for it's not like top 5 for me, but it's still I think back it's like a nice short film style.
That's one that I've sort of thought about, like maybe reevaluating my position of it, but this is a good one.
It's really effective, you know.
Yeah.
It's like because like the message is clear on some, like even really good episodes, the message can be pretty clear, but the difference between that kind of thing and this episode is that it's just like it's done more tastefully and how it's played out.
There's more nuance to it. It's a little bit more of a there's a multifaceted angles to the issue and to like all the different parts of it.
We could both see from the beginning of that technology that's like taking the person's voice of the person that passed away, how that's immediately going to be problematic, and then how it escalates from there.
Right.
But it's just done a lot more.
Well, it eases you into it, right? It eases you into it a little bit more. Whereas this, it's like, I guess this does technically ease you into it to a degree, but she has access to the whole slate of dangerous technology right off the bat, and you're like, immediately you're like, this is bad. That's bad.
Yeah, you lost me at filtering the dog.
Yeah.
You lost
immediately. You immediately lost me there. Yeah.
But
all right. Well, check it out.
Check it out. And if you have any thoughts you want to share, feel free to comment them below, and then we'll definitely read them on the next episode of the Tarqaron podcast for sure. All right. And if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell, and click the link in the description for our social media. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.